France is world famous for its romantic fairy tale castles, but tucked away in the beautiful Loire Valley sits a towering estate that holds a dark, chilling secret. Welcome to Château de Brissac. Known as the Giant of the Loire Valley, this is officially the tallest castle in all of France. With its breathtaking stone facade and sprawling vineyards, it looks like a scene straight out of a storybook. But beneath this stunning exterior lies a 500-year-old legend of betrayal, a brutal double murder, and a restless spirit known as La Dame Verte, the Green Lady. In today's video, we are stepping inside this massive, beautiful-room fortress. We'll explore its incredible history, its lavish architecture, and find out exactly why overnight guests are still kept awake by ghostly moans in the early hours of the morning. Grab a seat and let's dive into the story of France's most haunted castle. Before we get to the ghosts, we have to talk about the sheer scale of this place. The reason it's called the Giant is obvious the second you see it. Standing 7 stories high, it completely dominates the surrounding landscape. The castle was originally built as a fortress all the way back in the 11th century. But in the 15th and later the 17th centuries, it was massively rebuilt and renovated. If you look closely at photos of the exterior, you can actually see 2 completely different styles mashed together. The thick, dark medieval towers flanking the bright, elegant, heavily detailed Renaissance center. It's a beautiful architectural puzzle. Inside, the castle is just as breathtaking. It features 204 rooms, grand galleries, and ceilings covered in real gold leaf. It is packed with antique furniture, massive tapestries, and family portraits that stare down at you from the walls. There is even a private 200-seat opera house built right into the castle by a music-loving duchess in the 19th century. For over 500 years, this massive estate has been owned by the exact same family, the Dukes of Brissac. It has seen kings, nobles, and artists walk its halls. But the castle's most famous resident isn't a duke or a king. It's a woman who never checked out. Our story takes us way back to the year 1477. The castle was owned by a man named Duke of Brissac, a powerful and wealthy nobleman. He was married to a woman named Charlotte de Valois. Charlotte was royalty. She was the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII. But this was an arranged marriage, and to say they didn't get along would be a massive understatement. Jacques was a rugged man who loved spending his days outside, hunting in the forests. Charlotte, on the other hand, was a sophisticated royal who loved high society, fancy clothes, and the finer things in life. They had absolutely nothing in common, and their marriage was miserable. One evening, Jacques returned to the castle early from a hunting trip. He had dinner, went to his separate quarters, and went to sleep. But in the middle of the night, he was woken up by a servant. The servant whispered that his wife, Charlotte, was not alone in her bedroom. She was with a man named Pierre de Laverne, who happened to be Jacques' own huntsman. Enraged, Jacques grabbed his weapon, stormed down the cold stone hallways, and kicked down his wife's door. He caught them red-handed. In a fit of blind rage, Jacques murdered them both right there in the bedroom. History is a bit blurry on the exact weapon used. Some legends say a sword, others say an axe, but the result was incredibly bloody. Jacques was eventually arrested and imprisoned for the murders, though he was later released. But when he finally returned to his beautiful castle, he quickly realized he couldn't stay. Jacques discovered that while Charlotte's body had been buried, her spirit never actually left Château de Brissac. Almost immediately, he began hearing terrifying sounds echoing through the halls at night. It was the sound of a woman crying and moaning in agony. The hauntings drove Jacques to the edge of madness, and he eventually moved out of the castle entirely, unable to deal with the terrifying presence of the wife he had murdered. Today, Charlotte is known as La Dame Verte, or the Green Lady. She got this name because whenever she is spotted, She is wearing the vibrant green dress she was supposedly murdered in. She is most commonly seen in the tower room of the chapel, located in the oldest part of the castle. But she doesn't just wander quietly. Guests and staff who have seen her report something truly horrifying. When you look at her face, there are gaping, dark holes where her eyes and nose should be a chilling reflection of the brutal way she died. Over the centuries, the Dukes of Brissac have grown used to her. The current family even says they have simply accepted her as a permanent resident. Despite being haunted by a faceless ghost, Château de Brissac is very much alive today. It is currently owned by the 13th Duke of Brissac, and his family actually lives in the castle year-round. It is entirely open to the public. You can tour the grand halls, explore the magnificent gardens, and even do wine tastings from the estate's very own vineyards. And here is the craziest part. The family operates a bed and breakfast inside the castle. You can actually book a room and spend the night in this historic 204-room giant. But be warned, guests who stay overnight, especially in the rooms near the chapel tower, frequently report feeling unexplained cold spots, feeling someone brushing past them in the dark. And yes, hearing the tragic, mournful moans of the Green Lady in the early hours of the morning. Château de Brissac is the perfect blend of breathtaking French elegance and a real-life horror story. So the question is, if you had the chance, would you be brave enough to spend a night in the giant of the Loire Valley? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.